My name is Glenn. I'm an indie dev based out of Kingston, Jamaica. That's a small island in the Caribbean, not to be confused with the multitude of other places that have borrowed the name. I was born here, I grew up here, I attended university here, and I really do love my little island. It's not perfect, but it's home. Of course, because I live on a very hot island, I really love rainy days. Temperature generally is kind of high, so any respite from that, is appreciated. My favorite way to spend a Sunday afternoon, really and truthfully, is just having a cup of coffee and getting lost in a really good book. My partner and I, that's our favorite bonding activity. She reads her book, I read mine, and we kind of just keep each other updated. So I'm working on a game called Sunken Stones. I'm calling it a puzzle RPG strategy game. You take on the role of a pirate captain, and you are tasked with pulling together a crew and battling these sea creatures over treasure that you're collecting. It's all taking place on a grid, and it draws a lot of inspiration from other games, thinky games that, kind of tickle my brain. So like Into the Breach, and then even games such as Go, the board game Go. Just how you place tiles and surround enemies. I'm the chief maker and creator behind my projects. I do my art and I do my programming, but I'm not that great at music. I'm actually might be tone deaf, but I work with my good friend Chase Bethea, as well as other artists to kind of cover gaps as needed, and I collaborate with other people here on the island in the local community as well as other friends across the globe. The indie game movie came out with Jonathan Blow, Phil Fish, and Edmund McMillan. It kind of showed that, oh wait, I can make these things. Like, I don't need to migrate. On the island, the community is still kind of nascent. It's kind of scrappy, kind of grassroots. Everybody is some version of hobbyist into entrepreneur. Part of the reason is that the idea that you can make games is still considered kind of like a dream job. It's considered something that you have to migrate for to like one of the hubs like California or somewhere else. So the idea that you can just make cool things at home in your room is kind of foreign. Playing games like Braid and Super Meat Boy and Fez switched my thinking on games, and what I ended up prioritizing is what I call like interesting. Right? Interesting is not necessarily fun, but it's like a punch to the brain, kind of, and that's what indie games are really great at. Like, they kind of present you with this thing that feels, like what it is going in, and then it hits you with a 1-2 punch of like, oh, it's doing something different, and then now your brain starts whirring up, and now you're like thinking, okay, what if I do this? What if I do that? I just started making stuff, and then over time, the hobby and the passion just have kind of like seeped into like form this bedrock of who I am. If you transplanted me anywhere else, I'd probably still be making games in some form or some fashion. I have a compulsion to do this creative work. I don't foresee a life where this is not a part of it. If you put me in a day job doing something else completely, the monkey in the back of my head is going to come up with ideas, and then I'll have a scratch pad and I'll still do it. I feel that I am more genuinely me when I'm being creative and working on these things. So it's not so much of a journey or something that's going to happen. This is breathing. This is what I need to do.